So what were we talking about last night?
Yeah, we were talking about something last night that was we were talking about toes, bro.
Toes?
We were talking about toes.
Snap.
Yeah, bro. Like, it's crazy how women.
It was self-care.
Yeah, self-care. Like, men don't take care. We don't take care of ourselves, bro. It's crazy how women can go get manicure, pedicures, go to the salons, go get their hair blow dried. They can, look nice, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff. And men, they're just like, yo, put on some lotion. You know what I mean?
Self-care looks different for us. We worry about the gym and getting muscles, but like we have the ugliest feet walking around, but we got them biceps.
But is that self-care though?
No.
Like, that's toning. Like women do self-care, right? Like they take days where they go.
They got freaking a wake-up routine, a sleep routine.
Bro.
My wake-up routine is get up, look at the mirror. Snap.
No, wake up, wipe the coal out of my eye, see who's this page of me and why. Don't let me get my piggy back. Bro, but it is true that we don't take good care of ourselves. Like, I literally just brush my teeth, I put on lotion, like I make sure,
Party, bro.
I make sure my face is clear.
Alhamdulillah.
You know what I'm saying? L'Oreal, you already know. And that's about it. I put on, make sure my skin is not dry.
Yeah.
But I'm about to start getting manicure and pedicures.
Sheesh, I just need to take care of my toes. That's it. You feel me? Cut off a bunion here and there. You know what I'm saying? We'll be all right. They're soccer players, so don't.
Right.
So
yeah,
don't
exactly.
get twisted.
My feet are actually not too bad, but
right, people come step on my toes. But anyway,
I don't know if these people care about our feet that much.
Enough about the corns.
The corns and the onions and bunions.
The Funyuns.
Let's.
Sorry if that's your favorite chip.
Oh, this is about to be a pod of a pod today.
Yes.
Because when we start a podcast talking about our feet, you already know it's about to be.
Right. Allah gonna bless it. 10 toes down.
All right, Mo. Let's get it.
Let's get this show off the road, baby. 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everybody? This is Jabril Salam
and Muhammad Hassan,
and you're listening to the Young and Muslim podcast.
As-Salaam Alaikum. What's up, y'all? What's going on? Let's get it.
You know what? I'm debating
about what,
whether in the future I should keep doing or we get a button we just like we record it and then like what do you guys think? Do you guys like the spontaneity of the
It's gonna have to be for the listeners because you can't ask me that question.
Yeah, I know.
Let us know in the comments if y'all want them to stay
they don't
or
care about the
or just like a quick button where he pushing it down. Let us know. And for all y'all new listeners, if you don't know what we're talking about, check out our last few episodes.
Yes.
Right.
So
what we got on the docket today,
so we got a bunch of things on the docket today. We got a lot of stuff we're going to talk about, guys, because, this is a podcast and we got to do a lot of talking. But anyways, 2020 is in. We are a couple weeks in.
2 weeks.
It seems this year, I feel like a lot of people are still on the 2020 high. Their energy is still high. A lot of people have come into this year just like ready to see what blessings are going to be bestowed upon them. And even for us, I know personally, it's been going really well. I think, not financially, professionally, it's been going extremely well as far as things that's going on and whatnot. So 2020 has been on a good roll so far. The momentum is good. How about you? How's it?
Same way, man. These past 2 weeks have been just bomb overall. With just personal life, professional life, and friends. Last year, if you guys been following our journey, we just been in the dungeon, just straight hustling, So this time we wanted to come out, meet more of our listeners, and just hang out with our friends, bro. I mean, it gets hard and it's lonely. If y'all get a chance, go check out Will Smith. He's been dropping some gems. So if you're having a hard time to still kick off your 2020, go check out Will Smith on Instagram and DM us. We'll send you the video. But what he just talks about is that, man, this is hard work. And Jabril, you said something a few days ago that was actually really good. I know a lot of people, especially in the new year, want to give people advice, what to do, what not to do. Obviously, you can always reference the Quran and the Sunnah because the reminder benefits the believer, right? But you also got to remember that everybody's situation is different. It's not cookie cutter. So when you're giving somebody advice, tell them at the end of the day, the decision is theirs. Even though subconsciously or maybe even consciously, people want you to make a decision for them. But the problem is that if that happens, they come and put the blame back on you. But not only that, it's not their decision, and nobody knows their situation better than themselves. You know?
And people may have your best, they do have your best interest at heart when they give advice, but remember that advice always comes from a place of perspective. So they can only see out of their own two eyes. Exactly. So they might be giving advice that they think is good, but it might not be what's good for you. So I think I remember that conversation. I was just like, I'm not giving advice this year. Like only if I'm very close to somebody will I be like, look, I'm going to tell you what I think, but what I think doesn't matter. I'm letting you know how I see it from my angle.
Jeez, you know what I'm saying? I'm only human. I mean, you can go ahead and listen to God's words. You know what I mean? Those are concrete. But even with that, you need context.
Even with that, man, like I was looking at a video and they were like, oh, like if you're sad, it was actually from one of our friends that we follow and love his work. But he was like, like if you're feeling depressed, go pray. If you're and to an extent it works, but we have to stop looking at religion as the save all, because that's not the case. Right? Religion isn't ritual practices aren't just going to make things go away.
That's a better way to put it.
And the reason why I broke it up like that is because you have religion, and then you have religion consists of two things. There's the ritualistic part, and there's the spiritual part. And we put it together, you get religion. So you have the rituals that enrich your spiritual life.
And isn't that all like the way of life, like the way you should be living?
Yeah. So kind of. Yeah. So like if something is a religion, it's like you do it religiously, you do it consistently. It's like how you live. Somebody goes to the gym religiously, it's how they live. It's how they conduct their lives. So yeah, religion is, how you live your life spiritually, and there's certain rituals you do to make sure that spiritually you're good to go. Those things don't always help your life in the direction that you need to go. You know what I'm saying? Islam is a bit different because, we have the Sunnah and we have an example of, like business and things like this. But the Sunnah is not going to tell you how to be a gymnast. You know what I'm saying? Like so what I'm getting at is there's certain things in life that you kind of need to find other outs for. You need to find other solutions, and you need to be able to apply those tactics as well as your religious life. It's not just a go read Quran and you'll, if you're feeling sad, go read Quran. Like, bro, I'm still sad though. So it's not just about, I don't believe in God. Like I can still be sad and depressed and believe in God. You know what I'm saying? I can still be anxious out of my mind, believe in God. You want to try and get to the reasons as to why you're feeling there, and take solace and take shelter in your faith in God to help you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's important.
I think those are very interesting points, and I think it's one of those things, just like you said, just looking at the Quran and the Sunnah sometimes isn't enough, but those are just good examples. But going back to what we were saying earlier, you have to take those examples and apply them to your life. So example, even though we may not have information on how to be a gymnast, but our Prophet, peace and praise be upon him, tells us like, hey, make sure you take everything in moderation. He said your stomach should be filled with, was it 1/3 air, 1/3 food, and 1/3 water. Sometimes we coming up, we can't even move. So, and there's certain times of night where I'm just like, dude, when I'm feeling full or anything like that, I'm like, I think I need to stop eating right here. So that's just like the moderation, just the overindulgence. Our religion may not straight out say that specifically, but you kind of take that like, okay, wow, in the physical realm or something like that, like, that kind of makes sense, and I can apply it to my own life. The problem that we look at everything so black and white, I think the only thing that's black and white is just the haram and halal, you know what I mean? Like those are just black and white. Like but other than that, everything else is like,
there's maneuverability. There's maneuverability in Islam,
and it's a struggle too. You feel me? So yeah, y'all.
Well, and I think one of the biggest things I've kind of been talking with different friends. Shout out to my boy Amo. We're gonna get you on the pod, baby. Don't worry, we got you, Habibi. We were talking about blind faith, and he's been sending me stuff on Instagram because, like stuff has been hard, and everybody's going through hard times. So he was sending me. I'm gonna find them real quick and share with you guys. He's been sending me these, and I've really been appreciating them because they're really helping me. They've helped me enter this year doing well, and I'm still doing well. Still enjoying it. So it said Musa didn't know that Allah was going to split the Red Sea for him. He just knew that Allah wasn't going to abandon him. Trust Allah even when you don't know his plan. That's hard to do.
No, but Musa still had to do his job though.
Yeah.
So don't get it twisted. Musa still had to play his role. But I like that. That's actually really good.
You know what I'm saying? So it's difficult to have blind faith.
But blind faith means you're still out there doing the work, though. Blind faith doesn't mean you're just like, okay, Allah got me. And you just
for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure. But and we talk about that all the time. That's a given. You got to do your work. You got to tie your camel, all that good stuff, right? Mm-hmm. But I think it's even when you're doing the work, bro, having patience and having trust in Allah is not like you just got it and then you always got it. Mm-hmm. Like, bro, it's hard. It's difficult. And that's why Allah says you will be. Do you think I will give you this and you will not be tested? Mm-hmm. It's a constant test. And like me, for example, like I'm tested on a daily basis. Like this isn't like today I'm like I'm patient, and then I'm patient for the next 2 months. Like no, it's like it's daily. Yeah. Daily, I'm like I gotta be patient. Nah, Jabril, just hold off, be patient. Mm-hmm. Nah, it ain't worth it. Like that's every single day, every day,
every situation,
every day. Everything. So it's a struggle, and I feel like a lot of you guys go through it as well. Otherwise, we wouldn't have to be getting all these little fancy memes.
Exactly.
So he sent me another one too. It was like your income is written, your spouse is written, your career is written, the food you eat is written, your death is written. So please tell me why you're stressing. Trust Allah with all these affairs. Just focus on deen, hard work. The rest will fall into place.
Amen.
And that's true. Like we can only control what we do, like us. We can only control us. Anything outside of us, like you can't really control it. You can guide it, just like a puppy. Like you can guide a puppy, you can raise a puppy, but you can't control a dog. You can't control a kid, or like understand this, people. We have no control whatsoever, and that's the beautiful thing about life, and then the real scary thing about life as well. We have no control over any of this. Y'all realize that, right? Like at any moment, Mo could just get up. You could get up, walk out the door, and be like, "Yo, what the?" Sayonara. Like what? Ciao. Like at random, like all that can go. So like having faith is, from what I'm understanding, is it's knowing that can happen, but having faith that regardless of the circumstance, regardless if Mo walks out the door, that he literally just went out because he had to go spit, not that he was done with the podcast.
Right. Blind faith is you walking down a dark alleyway knowing that even though you can't see any light, that just going through the alleyway, you'll get to a good place now. You know what I mean? And you have that full conviction. But it's hard because along that journey, like people think that, like you said, blind faith is a consistent thing because throughout that journey, you're going to make some stops along the way and be like, is this really the right thing? Like you can be doubting yourself. Don't forget about doubt. Like doubt is a real thing, and as human beings, not only do we doubt ourselves, but with a doubt, that also brings down our confidence. It could bring down our self-esteem, and then instead of walking, we can legitimately sit in one place for a very long time. Have you ever been in like a situation, you're just sitting there like, I just don't know how I'm going to get out of this, or not even try to get out of it, you know what I'm saying? So even though you really have, okay, so for example, say like there's a situation at work, say you have like a bad manager or something like that. Instead of finding different ways to console the manager and make things better, you just kind of stay there and just take the beating because you don't think there's a way out. You follow me? But sometimes if
this doesn't apply to me.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know that doesn't apply to you. Maybe some other people, yeah. You're different.
I would just quit. I'd be like, all right, bro, I'll make my money elsewhere.
But some people just don't have that. But
no, I'm just playing.
Some people don't have that luxury. Really. But then other times it's like, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most just. So you're like, you know what? I'm going to keep doing my thing, that Allah is going to take care of this person or take care of this situation for me. Think about how many people out there are really stressing about whether it's their jobs, their loved ones, their parents, So talking about that blind faith, that's in all aspects of your life. You know what I mean? I'm going to have a story towards the end of this show. We have a nice question for the both of us. I'm going to go ahead and it's just a personal story I'm going to add to one of these questions that asks about a current situation in our lives. So.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so I do have a question for you then.
Yes.
What do you feel like is
the hardest part?
No. What do you feel would be the biggest test of this year?
2020,
but even like going out of last year into this year, what do you feel like is your biggest test? And this is a question, matter of fact, while we're recording, we'll post this and see what you guys think. because I'm interested to know what you guys think your biggest test would be this year. Make sure you go and follow us on Instagram, Young and Muslim, and answer that on our story. What do you feel would be your biggest test this year?
I would say my two biggest tests, would have to be staying positive throughout like all situations, and this is still part of the positivity, not let somebody else take me out of my character, and
you can take me out my element. Take me out my element.
I really want that because, being positive is hard and something that you have to do proactively and very consistent. But even though if I'm not positive because something happens, I still don't want to lose that characteristic of myself. Because like just that one time you snapping on somebody, you do something crazy, that could be a bad resemblance of you or just somebody being a Muslim. Say, for example, somebody meets you for the first time. It could be a cashier, somebody at Walmart. You snap on them and they know that, oh, this guy's name's Muhammad. Like, damn, I guess all like Muslims are angry or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm really trying to do is that no matter what happens, no matter how anybody else is feeling, no matter what's going on in the world, I still want to stay grounded. You feel me? And not snap, not get too happy, not get too sad.
Just what it's called, right?
Being in the moment?
No,
present?
Well, it's called being present, but it's a philosophy.
What's that?
It's called Stoicism.
Stoicism?
Yeah, there's many people that practice it. Marcus Aurelius I've mentioned before I'm reading the book, is Stoicism. Stoicism is not letting outside experiences mess with you and your spirit and your connection to God and nature, because those things do not, nothing should be able to move your mind and spirit more than you. So it's really about trying to harness and control your own emotions and your reactions.
You're the only person that has control of that.
It's all about how you react. Remember, I told you there's only two things you can control in life. That's your reactions and your attitude.
Yeah.
Your attitude and reactions. Those are the only two things in life that you can control ever. You can't control how things happen to you, and you can't control how people act towards you.
Ooh.
You can't. You have no control. So you can only control those things. And as a follower of Stoicism, someone that is a practitioner of Stoicism, I'm learning about it on a daily basis. That's something big. Is when you go somewhere, you. That's why. Last night we were talking about smiling, right? We were doing this. We're doing this post with someone, and I was saying how
we smile.
I was saying in this post, you guys will probably see it soon. We'll share it on our story. We're working with another brand with Smile. Luckily, both of our teeth are A1, baby. We were talking about how smiling is contagious, and how even when we're in the worst of moods, we always try and smile, because that smile may change someone else's day and make them happy. So even if you're not happy, but if as long as you greet somebody with a smile, which is also a sunnah, right? When you meet somebody, greet them with a smile and a firm handshake, right? It changes. It even enlightens you. When you smile, it's like a play with your mind. You mess with your mind to make you happy. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm smiling right now, and I ain't got nothing to smile about, but your boy get happy, and then positive thoughts come in. So you got to be able to control. See what happens? See, exactly. I start smiling and laughing. Now he's smiling.
Like, why are you so smiley?
Why are you so smiley? Why are you so smiley? So the way it works is you have to control what energy you entertain. You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing with meditation. You have to control what thoughts you entertain and allow to fester and stay there. And for the ones that are there, you have to learn how to ignore them until they go away. It's like a bully. Bullies only want to pick on you if you give them the attention.
Because they have like a platform.
Exactly. And when they don't have platform, when they don't have attention, just like negative thoughts, similar way.
That's good. I like that. So that was the first thing.
You guys are getting gems right now.
The second thing I would say is that I think this may go into your thing. Just trusting the process, and not only trusting the process, along the process, understanding that like, have you ever been like, oh yeah, I'm being patient, I have my full conviction and belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then but you're always questioning. You feel me? Like, dang, it's not here yet, or you're getting impatient, or you're stressing out, or you're worrying too much. Are you truly being patient? And this is a question for me and foremost before this is for the listeners. Like, I say I'm patient. I say I'm working for stuff. But sometimes I get agitated. It's like, damn, why isn't it here yet? And when that happens, I kind of want to double down on my worshiping. You know what I mean? And when I mean worshiping, not only the ritual stuff, obviously prayer and making dhikr and the remembrance Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but still being positive and treating people nicely. You feel me? Like, just because things not working my way and I'm agitated, I shouldn't bring anybody down with me. So I think that would be my two biggest tests, I would say, for this new year, inshallah, 2020. What about you?
Patience. Patience, and easy. I think that's the biggest thing for me, is just being patient. Like I said, it's a daily struggle for me. So being patient is I'm trying to be impatiently. I'm trying to be patiently impatient. I'm trying to be patient, but doing the things behind the scenes, that like working like a madman to make sure that when I get what I want, it's like I'm ready for it. Like, to be patiently impatient means that you're patient, but you're impatiently working. To be impatiently patient means that you're like, I'm patient, but like the whole time you're just like you're not patient. Like your work ethic is patient, but your mentality isn't. So you're like, oh man, I want this now. And then when it comes to head, you didn't put in any of the work that was necessary for you to get the thing that you wanted. So this year and last year as well was very much about establishing foundation and making sure that, you know, the things that I asked for, we talk about this with blessing blockings. Like I asked Allah for a lot of things last year, and alhamdulillah, like a lot of them came to head. So I'm trying to keep that rolling into this year and make even bigger goals. Right. But to get those goals, I have to be patient. And I think for most of you guys struggle with that as well.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. That was probably the... Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, continue.
No, sorry, go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
No, I'll say, MashaAllah, that was probably the most confusing, most logical thing I ever heard in my life. How much wood can a woodchuck chuck and woodchuck could chuck wood? You know? that made sense, though. Right. That made sense.
And I think if there was anything else, man, I think... being able to understand communication keys. Look, I'll put it real to you. Women are confusing, right? Women are hard to communicate with and read, and business is hard.
Do you think it's just human beings? I think it's just people in general.
Nah, yes, bro, it's women.
Women are a very, very special breed that we may never understand. But I think people just sometimes irrational too, man. I mean, we had it's just a situation that happened yesterday. You know, just people just... You know, just a person. It's just people, bro.
Yeah, communication.
It's communication, man.
I think communicate. You know what? You're right. It's not just women. I think there's women, as you mentioned, like friends, business. I feel like those three things this year, and you know, even out of last year, just like holy crap.
Yeah, family.
Family, like just communicating in general is like trying to how do you communicate and make it individual and it makes sense for everybody that you know, and it's a lot, right? Yeah. So I think learning how to communicate with each person on their own level is important, and learning how to communicate without actually having to say anything.
And you can't expect other people to understand communication and communicate the way that you do. So don't forget that. That's what Jabril means, coming down to the level. Everybody's different. There could be somebody that just sitting right next to them, that's their form of communication. They don't even want you to talk. They just want you to listen. Then you have some other people that all they want you to do is listen. They're going to talk. Then you have some other people that just want you to talk. So understand everybody's communication language, you know, and that's family, that's friends, that's in business, because that's going to take you a very, very far away in life, just, you know, professionally, socially, and also in the religion. You know, sometimes like somebody's having a bad time, like, oh, just go over there and see how they're doing, but really truly see how they're doing. Not, oh, alhamdulillah, doing all right, okay, cool, and then just be out. I feel like that's how it is sometimes here in the DMV.
Have real communication.
The DMV area was so busy. Oh, As-Salaam Alaikum, bro, doing bar, how's everything? You good? Okay, cool.
You could be doing horrible. Be like, oh, alhamdulillah. You know what? That was one, when I first moved up here, that was one thing I hated, and I still hate it. That's
like the culture here. You know, everybody's so busy on the go. Like, all right, man, you good? Hit me.
Nah, but no. Nobody wants to actually divulge their feelings and like what's going on in their lives, which I get it. You don't want to put all your business out there, but people also putting out this poise that they're good.
Always good.
Like, hey, alhamdulillah, like, yo, like, I'll tell you, like, bro, people know on this podcast, we're real people. Like, I'm not Tony Robbins. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not Tony Robbins out here. Like I'm going to let you, like, because at the end of the day, like that's real, bro.
Yeah,
that's real. Like
keeping a stat.
You know what I'm saying? Keep it a bean with you.
Keep it a bean pie.
Like I'm gonna keep it a bean pie real quick. Yo, I'm about to start saying I'm gonna keep it a bean pie with you. Real talk. Like is that's life though. You know what I'm saying? So like if every time I see someone like yo, alhamdulillah, like I'm like yo, life is good, or yo, like life's tough. But like yo, if you're taking the time and we're talking, like if it's if we're not just like pass it by, I'm not gonna ask. But like yo, you doing good? All right, good. How's your mom? All right, cool. I guess we all do that.
I mean, unless it's somebody,
we all do that.
Unless it's somebody part of your community, like your close friends. That's what we're talking about. I mean, obviously acquaintances, people you see on the streets, you give them the greetings if you have the time. But we're talking about like friends.
But the thing is, why do we engage in like that's a loaded question.
Okay, so
it's a loaded question. Why do we even engage in? Hey, how are you? You good? Like if all right,
because that smile, you see somebody, hey man, how you doing? Just that smile, or just giving that brother, you look in the brother, you give him the head nod, like.
Now, what I'm saying is, when we see people, right? Like, for example, I go to your house. Yeah. I go to your house today. I see your pause. Hey, how you doing? Hey, I'm good. What if I'm not good?
Then let me know.
What if I'm not? But that's what I'm saying. Why do we have this culture where it's like we say we're good even when we're not good?
I mean, he's gonna be like, you know why you're not good? You're not married. That's why you're not good. You're not married and you're hungry. You take care of those two things, you will always be good, Jibreel. Listen to me. I raised my whole life. I think that's the problem. I think the problems that we have are just, under a few categories. That we ain't got no money.
Get married, all of it go away. All of it. Wow. Damn, Pops might be right. no lie. Mans might be right. Yo, okay. Wow.
So you're doing something unnatural right now.
He said, yo, I'll never. So your mom, we were at like an event and his mom, his mom like grabs me on the shoulders. She looks at my heart because he was like talking to somebody. She goes, Jibreel, you're 28. All your friends are getting married and it's time for you and Muhammad to get married now. What are you going to do? You need a wife. I was like, oh my God. This isn't from my mom. This is from your mom, bro. I was like, wow.
Oh, man. Sometimes I wonder if you weren't, handsome and doing some, productive if they would approach you the same way,
Yeah.
They're probably not, he ain't ready.
Yeah, right. Yeah, bro. That was hilarious, bro. That was hilarious. But like, so... Have you ever, like, you talked to a woman before? Like, we ain't shy about that, right? When you talk to a woman and you start doing things different, right? You start trying to like get your life right. You know what I'm saying? You're like, let me start going to the gym a little bit more. Let me, and if she, she's on her prayers or whatever, you're like, let me pray more. Let me do this. One thing that I notice is that I try and eat better. Like I made it a goal for me this year to eat more halal, right? And like even for instance, we went out, we were celebrating, we had like a big meeting, it went really well. We went out to eat, and I was like, oh, I could get chicken, but I was like, oh, but the chicken's not halal. Let me get seafood,
some vegetables.
Give me some more vegetables. Greens. Yeah, I was like, let me get my body right. I want to live long, because when old girl shorty come around my way, I want to make sure I can.
I wonder.
I can live a long time.
I wonder that feeling that you're feeling right now is something that stays, that's constant. So if you're married, let us know. Like for example, like
that self-improvement.
Just
feeling?
That self-improvement.
Well, that's what I said. That's
part
what I said.
Of your life, you want to eat better. You want to pray more. You want to get closer to God. You kind of want to do all that stuff. But it's like after you're married and you get that person, do people plateau? Just from experience. Of course,
bro. Look how many people we know that are married and then they're just like their bodies are just gone.
Yeah.
Like that's the first sign.
Yeah.
But that's why I say what I said. I want to love you long time, and it wasn't trying to just be like a sexual reference.
Yeah.
It was a double entendre. But it also means like I want to be able to like be around for a long period of time. Like
take care of you and be my best around you.
Exactly. Like I want to love you long time. Like Like I want to be here and be able to be with you. So I think
go.
I think when it comes to eating halal and like y'all, I'm taking vitamins.
Right?
Are y'all taking vitamins?
Vitamin C, baby.
Do you take vitamins?
Yes, I do. The gummies, vitamin D, baby, and vitamin
okay.
C. But no, what I think that right now, there's so many relationship coaches out there, or spiritual coaches in the Muslim community, the Muslim world, which I think is great because they help people like get married and everything. But what I think that I know we have counselors, but I really feel like we need somebody or a group of people that are so ingrained and focusing on helping Muslims take their relationship to the next level, and that's just over with all things. You know what I mean? Like socially, physically, mentally, financially. I know we have like pre-marriage counseling, stuff like that, but remember, you know, the imam, he understands like the sunnah and the sharia and everything, but sometimes just like they may not know what's going on in the community or just reality. You feel me? So sometimes there's some social aspects that they don't know how to maneuver to. Does that make sense?
You don't have to explain that.
For example, what I want is that I feel like young couples or young Muslim couples just need more training on how to take their relationship not only serious, but like be great and be happy with each other and do dope things. Like I see a lot of people, it may just be my family, the people that I see, like after they get married, like khalas, you know, like, you know, the woman's just chilling, the guy may just go to work. It's like sometimes their ambition just dies down.
That's a culture though. That's not a religious thing. That's a culture, bro. That's a culture because that's what y'all do in y'all culture. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Here in America, you know what I'm saying? Like
it might just be a culture.
That people do different things. It's all about culture.
Yeah.
Right? Like I was talking to someone. Right, I was talking to someone and she was like, yeah, you know, like and hip hop culture, like the only thing that's really cool is to like just go out and hang out, go to hookah and
spend that guap.
Yeah, spend money and eat. Like, and if you look at most of these Muslim, you know, like the hip, the cool Muslim culture, right? Mm-hmm. Right. I think that's what we are. Right. We're in that era, right? All they do is show how much they eat and hanging out with friends. And I'm like, yo, y'all, that food looks good, but y'all boring as hell.
I really don't like when people post food and stuff like that. That's never been me for.
Yeah, but like the point I'm getting at is, yo, like when y'all going skydiving, or y'all doing like, and so you talk about like with relationships. I think it's a lifestyle change as well. Point. Like, good okay, point. Cool.
So we need a lifestyle coach.
Yeah, that's what exactly.
We need a lifestyle coach.
I think it's not just about your relationship. It's how you individually live. You know how many people are like, yo, I'm traveling, but every time you see them, they travel and they're just sitting down, they're eating something, or they might be on a hike. But like, bro, like there's so much more stuff to do out here, so much, and maybe we're just not seeing it. Yeah, but the culture, the social media culture shows only one side of things, and the side that we're seeing is that, you know, the relationship goals is all about going to see stuff and eat.
Because nobody wants to explore. They want to do what everybody else has already done. That's what it is. Nobody wants to explore. Everybody's like, okay, I'm going to go on a hike and engage to my wife because I've seen somebody else do it. You feel me? Like, I feel like people aren't off the wall. People aren't original anymore, and they're not themselves. Like, you feel me? They're not themselves. You know, so
because we're seeing too much shit.
That's the problem. No, we're influenced by too much. How can you be yourself? Like, say like you're a bucket of paint, right? Say like you're a bucket of paint, but you're influenced by so many different things. You know what I mean? So many different paints and everything. Like that mixture it's gonna move away from the original sense. You feel me? But because that's just the internet, bro. The internet and just our communication, which can be a good thing too.
I think it goes both ways though.
That's what I'm saying.
Because you get inspiration. You get inspiration from it too.
You can get inspiration.
You know how some of my best pickup lines come from the internet. Some of my best pickup lines. I'm taking your mom's advice. I'm trying to get married.
So media influences culture, or is media?
I think it goes.
Does culture make media, or does media make culture?
It goes both
ways. I think this might be a own.
It goes both ways.
Little episode in itself.
I think it goes both ways.
Yeah.
What influences culture? I think it has to go both ways. Like people, first off, poor people influence culture, but poor people, yes. Rich people don't influence culture. Middle class people don't really influence culture. It's poor people. Okay. All cultural things happen out. Cornrows, for example, is like you don't see no rich people walk around with cornrows. You know what I'm saying? Like hairstyles, all this stuff originates with poor people, and then high fashion, and all those people kind of take it and like they jock it. Yeah. But to be honest, all this stuff starts with poor, lower class citizens. All culture. You know what I'm saying? Stories, songs, all this stuff starts at a lower class. well, I could say middle to lower class, but no upper class people are taking culture. Okay. You know what I'm saying? They can enhance it, but they don't start culture.
Nah, that wasn't there from the root.
So when we look at like the young Muslim culture, the people that are starting it, it's the younger people. We ain't got no money.
Yeah,
it's the younger people and establishing what do we deem as just like cool. What's cool for us?
Acceptable.
You know what I'm saying? What do we deem cool?
What we got next?
Oh dang! Why? That was a horrible transition.
I had nothing else.
I mean, keep talking. Dang, that was a horrible transition. Stay focused. Stay focused on the prize and execute. See, that's how you transition, because that is the next topic.
Stay focused.
No, so this was a conversation we were having last night where we actually couldn't stay focused. We were like, yo, like what is something that we're really trying to, I guess, implement, and I guess it was better time management. And we talked about the things that like we get distracted by, and it goes back to our phones. We were talking about the internet. So going back to the phones, a lot of times we get distracted by the phones and being on it and scrolling. Yeah, we got this like meme culture now where you don't really engage with anything. You're just kind of just wasting time, right? You're not really doing anything, and you see people spending 2 and 3 hours a day just scrolling. Yeah. Right. I posted something the other day. Let me know what you guys think. I posted something the other day. I went off of social media for almost a week, and I was like, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And social media does not make 99% of you people on the platform money. It doesn't make you any money. It only for a lot of you, it gives you anxiety. For a lot of you, it makes you depressed. It gives you this inferiority complex. Like, you don't feel good with social media, but you feel like you have to use it. I stopped because I was like, bro, like, I'm not being productive. And in the time that I've stopped, I've been more productive than I've been
crazy
in a minute. Yeah, because I'm like, and what's funny is I'm still on Instagram, right? I logged off my personal one because we still got to do stuff for the podcast because we love you guys. We want to stay engaged. Yes. But it was like, I got off of it because I was like, let me pray more. Let me read more. Let me focus on me and inner me and stop focusing on what my image is online. That doesn't matter. I guarantee you cannot post another picture for the rest of your life and your life will be just fine.
You can't forget, I mean, this all goes back to the concept of keeping up with the Joneses, right? But I think now the Joneses look a little bit different. The Joneses isn't the family with the white picket fence and the huge yard and the beautiful home and the Ferrari. The Joneses is the social media influencers. Those are the new Joneses, you feel me? Because everybody wants to keep up with those people. Like, well, what are they doing? Like, what are they wearing? Bro, like, what are they in? That's the new Joneses. And people want to, even if they're a critic, even if they're just a troll, even if they're just a viewer, they have their space in the social community. You feel me?
I don't think that it's influencers.
What do you think it is?
I think it's regular people. Our friends are stunting on one another now.
Nah, I think it's both.
I think it's more your regular friends. People get more insecure by looking at what their friends are doing than influencers. Because at least with an influencer or someone that has a large following, you're like, oh, well, they got a bigger following. Like, that's their job. That's their work. But when your friend goes to Spain and they're sitting in Barcelona and they're getting sunbathed and you're sitting in freaking Connecticut in the inclement weather and it sucks. It's like, bro, like, you're insecure because you're watching people that you know doing that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Of course, like, you're looking at influencers, oh, like, they're doing that. I wish I could do that too.
Especially if they're younger than you.
Exactly. Like, you're like, oh, like, how are they doing that and I'm not? You're comparing your life, but it's harder on you when you have people that you know.
I think that's a better way to put it. It's harder on you when it's people that you know.
Yeah, exactly. Or people that are on your level. You're like, oh, they went here, they're doing that. Oh, that's cool. Oh, man, I wish I'm jealous.
Good point.
Like, stop comparing your life. Stop. And that's, again, hop off of social media. Like, it's hard to do, especially because it's such a integrated part of our lives. But I'm telling you, take a week. Just log off. I don't even delete the app. Just log off. Take the app off your home screen and just see what happens in a week.
You're not missing anything. Don't worry.
You're not. The same people are going to be posting the same stuff.
Exactly.
I eventually want my brand to be bigger on my own social. But at the end of the day, I was like, bro, it ain't making me dollars. It ain't making sense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's time to work. It's time to grind. and I think a lot of us need to take that approach. You know what I'm saying? So stay focused. Like what do you need to be focused on? What is your priority for the year? What's your priority for your life?
Yeah.
And if there are certain things in your life that are literally taking away from it, get off.
Yeah.
Take a break.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you could be working on yourself. And I even hate saying that. I'm working on myself. You take time.
That's true, though.
To take money take the time that you're using to be on social media to go make money or go explore somewhere, and that can be your piece of self-care.
I mean, bro,
right?
Think about it. Alhamdulillah, we're both waking up for Fajr now and praying. Think about the people that sometimes, you might wake up in the middle of the night, you grab your phone and you're scrolling for like 10 minutes or 20 minutes, and then you just go back to sleep. Like, imagine you can pray in 10 minutes. You know what I mean? But sometimes they're laying tirelessly in bed. But I think the reason for that is that we don't give our phones restrictions. I remember talking with Brother Shadid talking about, if you don't have boundaries between your families and your friends, that can be toxic, and he's absolutely right about that. But what about our phones? You know what I mean? What about media and like people and electronics having access to our minds and our spiritual life? Like that also needs restrictions too. Because if we don't put restrictions on it, like you were saying, it can be toxic. But when you're ready to carry yourself, you woke up in the morning, you pray Fajr, you put on your mask or whatever, you stretched out, you worked out, you're good. Then you go out and then you're on the phone, you see something negative, you're gonna be like, oh, that's not even, psh. You know what I mean? Like I'm already rolling.
Yeah.
Get that out the way, and then you're looking at some positive, and you already got your day going. When you wake up, you're just dragging out of bed, and you're not attacking life, and life's attacking you. You see something negative, you're like, oh, I'm feeling the same way, man. Life sucks, and then from there, you had two roads to pick that day, because I feel like you were saying, you have so many different interactions in life, but when you start off your day, you decided to go off the negative path, and sometimes you may stay on that path all day, or you might bounce back to the positive, so.
Let me ask you, do you think that social media is a important necessity in our lives? Do you feel like it's needed?
Oh yeah, I definitely think it's needed. Yeah,
really?
Especially if you trying to create a change and everything like that, because even just looking around, everything's on social media, and you need to understand the lay of the land, so you can't be oblivious about it. It is needed. It's very needed. But it's such a integral.
Well, I guess a better question is, do you feel like people need it in their lives, like on a like if you're just on social media, do you feel like you need social media?
If it wasn't for this podcast, you guys would not even know who I am. Like, just keeping it like real, to be honest with you. So some people just having to, just on there. Like, I never understand that people have social media, but just troll people all day or just never post and just look like They don't have lives unless they're lonely. You're researching. They're lonely. Unless you're doing research, but
they're lonely. And social media isn't just Instagram and Twitter. Like social media, as in like the internet, as far as like there's
like chat rooms.
Chat rooms, like stuff where you can be interactive. I do think the internet and social media, like the ability to be able to communicate with people across borders.
That's true.
Right? I think that is needed. Like I used to love getting on PlayStation and playing PlayStation with people that were like way, way far away. Like that was cool to me that I could make friends that were far away. And even today, like I think social media, its primary function is to make friends who don't live close to you. And that's why we love you guys, because we don't live near half of you, but we're able to communicate. Like we talk to people. We've been talking to some people from the very beginning. Like for instance, my boy Abdullah, shout out Abdullah out there in Texas. We've been talking to him for a while now. Yep. Like we know homie. We've video calls with them and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? We've made business connections, and you're like, wow, okay. Like I feel like I know these people, even though you may never see them. You may never see these people. So I do think social media has that element. But as far as like, is it important to your life? No. I think people can have a very relevant, I think people can have a very sound and happy life without social media. Yeah, I really do.
We need, as human beings, we need the social aspects of our lives, because that's what community life is. But social media is getting away from social, especially if you're not interacting. And that's what I was telling you. If you're just on there meaninglessly scrolling, you're not interacting. So, but you got to evaluate.
Yeah, look, and I think when we have the phone conversation, right? Like, are we on our phones too much? People are anxious or depressed.
Kids, oh my God, the kids are always on the phone.
Yeah, I think we have to, as you said, you have to learn how to regulate and monitor your time, regulate your space, give your phone and social media its own place. Give it its place.
We got to control. How do you let this little thing right here control us? We have to control it.
My dad calls it the one-eyed devil.
Yeah, but this
until he got Facebook.
This joint is
when he got
is running people's lives,
when my pops got Facebook, right? The first week he was like, Jabril, Facebook is great. He was like, I wake up in the middle of the day, in the middle of the night, just scrolling on Facebook. Ooh, what's on Facebook?
So I've been seeing my dad. He'd be in the corner, so after like he prayed and just read, and I see him just in the middle of the dark like this. Like, what are you doing?
like, bro, them videos you get, bro. Facebook is a rabbit hole, bro. Facebook will take you down a rabbit hole, dog, and is nuts, man. But it's cool because you're right. It keeps us up to date with current events, and a lot of news. Like, I get a lot of my news via Twitter. It's funny if I see something on Facebook, I'll look at it like what was going on with Iran, right? Or what the bombing in Somalia. Like I saw a meme on Instagram or Facebook, and then I went straight to Twitter to check out the recent news.
Looking for an article or something?
Yeah, looking for an article. It's instantaneous. Like Twitter to me is the best social media because it actually shares relevant information. Yeah. And you can source it like very quickly, right? And speaking of like what's going on in Iran, you know, we plan on having a dedicated episode just to that, but I've been seeing a lot of World War III memes, and those joints have been hilarious, bro. Oh my, like people talking about when I dodged the draft, and it's funny, but it's also like, bro, like take something serious, dog.
Right,
like it's like, but at the same time, these memes are funny. Let me ask you this:
Americans,
do you like? Let's not even get on the topic of World War III, bro. I was gonna ask you about World War III, but with all of this craziness going on in the world, right? With all of these, you know, these places discriminate against one another, you know, taking people and putting them in concentration camps. And it's been going on like this forever. Like the U.S., if you're a citizen here, we've been at war for literally like 80% of the nation's founding.
But we've always been at war.
Always, right? We're always fighting somewhere, or there's always some craziness going on in the world. What do you think will have to happen for there to be world peace?
No, I don't know, to be honest. I mean, people
just think of the biggest thing you can think of. Like, what would have to happen? Like, if that means like half the people in the world have to die, then so be it.
I would say everybody become Muslim, but sometimes it's even the Muslims doing crazy things to other people. You know, a lot of Muslims doing crazy stuff. I would have to say, just people just have to get on board just morally, you know what I mean? Just get the moral compass straight. Because right now, with everybody's trying to become a superpower in trade. And the problem is that along these wars, it's not that, Muslims are getting hurt or Christians are getting hurt, Jews getting hurt. Yeah, everybody's getting hurt. Everybody in the middle. If you ain't, it's the haves and the have-nots. It's either you got nuclear powers and missiles and drones, or you don't. And then you're going to be caught in the crossfires, you know what I'm saying? Like think about the airplane that got shot down, you know, in Iran, killing over between 130 to 157 people, mostly Iranian. You feel me? So even though that might have been a logistical error between, you know, the Air Force, team and the civilians, but it's like, bro, if we really cared about our people and just stop trying to land grab and trying to be everywhere, you know what I'm saying? I think that would be good. We're so worried about what other people. I think we're just so worried about what other people are doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, to that point, I think that if foreign armies remove themselves from foreign lands,
that's what I was talking about. The land grabs.
Exactly. Yeah, like I agree with that. Like, the U.S. has bases almost in every country.
Oh my God.
Why?
Except for Iran, don't have any.
Because we have to protect our interests and make sure that nothing pops off. Well, bro, it's like we instigate.
They're not even doing anything. They're just over there, just working.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
like they would be in D.C., they're just in another country, you know. But if something pops up, like, all right, guys. Go. It's like the mafia. Go out there and handle that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that and this is just a theory. Like I have no research and founding and all this. I think this is just an idea that if we are to achieve any sort of world peace, we have to be able to establish trust. Now, if someone start popping off wrong, then then we go in there, we handle that. I think that's the point of the United Nations, right? Like you make a united decision amongst a variety of nations, not one nation like, yo,
you know, we got the biggest army, so we about to just put ourselves everywhere. That's colonialism.
But what I don't get is that, you know, here in the U.S. we supposed to have checks and balances, right, between the different parties and different.
No one's checking and balancing us.
So the House of Representatives and the Senate, right? But even internally. But then if the president wants to do something, he can just do it. You know what I mean? Because he is the commander in chief, especially going to war. There's no checks and balances for that. He says something and it happens. So it's like, how far are we? Or how close are we to a dictatorship when it comes to fighting wars and stuff?
No, we're definitely very far off from that. We're extremely far off from a dictatorship.
But right now they just, you know, don't want to get into too much of the weeds. They just passed a resolution, I think it's this week, to limit the president's control when it comes to specifically, you know, Iranian military regulations and execution and moves. You feel me? But before that.
Well, they did it because of what
he did.
Ideo did, and you know, a few weeks ago, like they had to, because you're right but that's not a dictatorship. Like I think we're very far away from a dictatorship just because the system won't allow it. However, we are an imperial power. Okay, like, and we're an imperial power, meaning we can go anywhere in the world and start blasting people, and our country's okay with that. And the people,
and that's imperialism.
Bro, what's scary is that the people are okay with that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The people in this country were like justifying like a lot of stuff that we do, and I'm like, bro, y'all don't understand the fact that hundreds of thousands of people are dead, and that blood is on our country's hands, and that sucks. Yeah. That sucks because living here, most of us don't want that. Most of us just want it, bro. We're just trying to break our bread and eat with our fam. You feel me? Like most of us don't want this stuff, life, bro. No. And I hope that anybody that's listening from anywhere else around the world, if you are listening from around the world, thank you, by the way. That means that you're taking a lot of time out of your day and whatnot to listen to us. So thank you. Understand, like, we as citizens, no matter what our race, ethnic, a lot of us don't want this. No. The people that do want it don't really understand the value of human life. So yeah, is like nobody wants that, yo. No one. That's how you do world peace. But let me ask you this: how do you? We were talking about this. Actually, it was last night. We were talking about death and our fear of it, which I have none. Like, I'm ready to go at any point, right? Like, if it's my time to go, it's my time to go, and only God will know. Yeah, ooh, bars. How do you feel about death? And how do you feel about it? And when it is your time to go, how do you feel? Not how do you think you'll be remembered? That's corny. Yeah. But how do you feel your life will be gauged? Like, when people think about like your life, all right, or how do you want it to be gauged? Rather, how do you want people to be like, man, like this dude did X, Y, and Z, and it left me happy, or you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you want people to kind of gauge your life and your impact?
I have a dream that all FOBs and African Americans can come together on this beautiful land and enjoy the fruits and the amenities of this beautiful nation. Nah, but for real.
No, that's beautiful. That was beautiful.
That's my only goal. Once he has to understanding my people in the FOB, we have made it. Nah, I mean, that's a good question, man. What I want, you know, I do think about death, but not as much as I should, because sometimes it's like you can always get to the point where you get sad about it, you know, and kind of paralyzed and frozen, which I don't want to be. But I kind of think about it like, think about death kind of helps me not do things I shouldn't be doing. You feel me? Such in not being at a bad place at a bad time at a certain, you know, so I kind of look around like, you know, this isn't a good situation. Let me get out of here. You feel me? Or it's like, you know what? I'm exhausted. I shouldn't be driving right now. Let me get home, or let me sleep here, because like there's those small minor things that can put me in a bad position. So I think it's just those small. What death does, it allows me to make better decisions.
Makes you move different.
It makes me move different. That's what I would say. You know, I'm not like, oh my God, I could die right today, because that's the case. But it's more like, let me not put myself in that bad situation, because something bad may happen. Not death, but just something bad. You feel me? And what I would like for something that, you know, that lives beyond me, and Charlotte would definitely love to have kids and everything, but just show that, you know, show people that I came to this country and didn't neglect the people that were already here. You feel me? And kind of work to bond with them and be with them and be one of them. Not in regards to assimilation, not like that, but more like bridging that gap between African or people from Africa and coming to this country, showing that we are, no matter where we are in this world, we're the same. We have different problems, but they look very similar. I'm like you and you're like me. So that's what I like that. I like to say, yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I've never been scared of death. Like even as a kid, like death to me was just like, it's a part of life. Yeah. And I think if you're scared of death, then it's like, why? Why? Well, you know what I'm saying? Because it has happened to us. It was kind of like when we were talking about Hajj, and you're like, bro, we all have to go.
Yeah.
It's just like death. Like we all have to die. I just pray on a regular that no one, like myself, my fam, friends, anybody that I may know doesn't end in a tragic way.
All right.
Tone was actually, he put me onto that when we were with him in Philly. But I feel like I want to help tell the realest stories of people who don't get their stories told. You know what I mean? And when I leave, like people will be like, yo, like he helped tell my story through someone else's lens or through his own lens. You know what I'm saying? But because at the end of the day, there's not a lot of representation. And I think that if I can leave here and feel as though every single day, right? Every single day that I was here, that I either made somebody happy or smile. I think about the butterfly effect a lot, actually, more than I probably should. It's weird. The butterfly effect is basically saying that even something as small as a butterfly's wing, like the shudder of their wings, can alter the entire reality of the universe.
Wasn't that a movie?
Yeah, it was a movie, but it's a real theory though.
Okay.
The butterfly effect is a real theory that, when this morning when my phone fell off my bed, that actually altered the guy that was below me. It altered his entire life, right? By 1 second, because he woke up in the middle of the night, and then that he couldn't get back to sleep, and then he was tired when he was driving, and then he got to work.
Paranoid.
He got to work, and he was just like angry and grumpy. He lost a big deal, and he gets fired. But if I hadn't dropped my phone that morning, none of that would have happened. So I often think about that, and I often think about how when you see somebody, we talk about smiling, like when you see somebody having a good attitude and helping somebody and doing good deeds can lead not only to you having a good life, but it leads to other people having a good life. So I often think like, damn, what happens when like I see those little kids? I'm notorious for it. I see little kids and I'm like, blah, like I make faces at them and they're like smiling and stuff, right? Like what happens years down the line? Like did I like scare a kid or like make a kid laugh, and like that's something that kid grew up laughing at now? You know what I'm saying? Like or like when you help somebody, or like whenever you do a good deed, how did that affect that person, right? And I often think about good deeds, as I said before, like afterlife money, but more importantly, it's a way for us to connect with one another more, right? So even after you're gone, you still have this connection, you have this love that people gave, right? And I think the ultimate goal is to be able to get to heaven. You feel me? Like, bro, heaven is going to be the dopest after party ever. Right? It's going to be lit. That's like everybody's going to be up there.
It's going to happen with you or without you.
Exactly.
Or with us or without us.
And I'm trying to get there.
I'm
like,
trying to see all y'all there too.
I don't want to be in the under the dungeon. You know what I'm saying? I want to be in the party. So like I want to do as many things as I can to get there without being selfish, without just trying to think about I don't think about heaven, right? Like I don't think about like, I'm only going to do this because I want to get the Jannah, but I do it because Allah commands, be good, but also because it's just like the right thing to do is always the right thing to do. Like it should be doing good and trying to live a life with fear of Allah and like death on your mind. Death will make you do good things. Death will make you do good things. Don't get twisted. So that's why I often think about it, because I'm like, if I think about my death, if I died today, did I do something that is actually going to contribute to the betterment of someone else's life? Because that right there, if I made someone do something good, then that good deed reflects on me as well.
Exactly. And I love that, because a lot of people got it twisted and they got it backwards. They're selfish in this world when they should be selfish in the afterlife. And let me explain. When I mean you're selfish in the afterlife, like Jabril said, you're trying to help as many people as you can because you get all those good ajr, like all those good deeds, you know. And when you get into Jannah, they say that we will come in groups, and then at that point, everybody's trying to get in, you know.
Mamas will drop their babies out their bellies.
That's how serious it is. But people, we're doing that now. Like, we're doing that premature. Like, we're, you know, some people out there aren't really taking care of their kids the best way they should. I'm not coming at anybody. It's just the way of the world. People out there aren't taking care of their friends, their families, aren't being close to their, you know, community, not treating people with, you know, poise and respect. Like, you know, everybody's self-made now, you know. Nah, bro. Yeah. Everybody's God-made. But the afterlife is going to be the time to shine. You know, everybody trying to shine now. Yeah. We going to shine later.
And I mentioned this topic because I was listening to another podcast, and they said Mac Miller dropped a song. I was like, yo, what? Like, Mac dropped a song? And if y'all know, like, I have a very high affinity and appreciation for Mac Miller. This dude, like, we're the same age. He got us through college, like, you know, party music and stuff like that. So, like, really appreciate, like, his music and what he was putting in it, the stories that he was telling, right?
Local, too. Pittsburgh.
Yeah. And he dropped a song, like, his team dropped a song. He had an album that was going to come out. So, this week, Mac Miller has an album that's going to be dropping. And the song that came out, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a really good song. I recommend everybody go listen to it. Very good message, but it tells a story. It tells a real story. Very good story. I can relate to it. I'm pretty sure you can relate to it. A lot of us can relate to it. So I think I know for my personal goal, me being able to help tell the story of others, like seeing what he's done, even though he's gone, like, bro, I'm always like I can listen to his music and be like, wow, like, he really made this to help me connect. He made self-care. You know what I'm saying? Self-care literally had me like, man, I really need to focus on helping myself sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, rest in peace, Mac Miller, man. Prayers for your family and all the fans out there that love Mac Miller. And, yeah, so, you know, just one time for the one time for my mans. One time for the one time.
One time for the one time.
All right, man. How we about to wrap this up, bro?
What? We're not asking the final.
Oh yeah, you had the question. You had the question. Yeah.
It's on the docket. I thought we was about to go into that joint.
Which one?
But unless this question is gonna facilitate for a long response.
Which question?
It was about how it is to be just by yourself.
Oh, how is it to be? How is it to be single? Oh yeah. I said that one off.
Oh, okay, خلاص then.
Oh no, we can go into it.
We can go ahead and hit the nail on the head. So the question that we had, and all this stuff that we're talking about.
Was this the question that you were talking about at the beginning? That you said, okay, cool.
So right here, so for people that may be joining late or just not even paying attention, this podcast or this episode specifically is for you to have a great 2020, not only start off the year, but just to push through. And that's why we talked about, patience and perseverance and getting off social media and managing your time. Like, we're trying to give you and set ourselves up for the tools and resources to be successful this year, inshallah. So another question that we had that Jabril and I talked about is, how does it feel to be single? Is that what the question was?
How does it feel to be single?
Or why does being single suck?
Why does being single suck?
Why does being single suck?
Bro,
oh, man.
Look, straight up, you want to know why?
Hit us.
Being single sucks because in the middle of the day, I want someone to send me that, are you okay? Text.
Wow.
No, I'm messing with you. No, that wasn't what. No, I said it wrong. No, being single sucks because I would love to be able to wake up to Habibti waking me up for Fajr. You know what I'm saying? Inshallah. And us being able to just like pray together instead of me hitting this dude and be like, yo, let's record.
He got that line straight from a Dean Squad album. Mashallah.
Yo, please, don't need it. Yo, get out of here, bro. Oh, I think that I found myself a believer. Oh my God, this is the whack.
So that was actually really good.
No. And it's true. Look, at the end of the day, you get to a point in your lives, and this is for people that are younger. Uncle Mo will tell you best, but Cousin Brill gonna let you know. You know what I'm saying? Man? Cousin Brill, I'm gonna tell you how it is.
Our show names.
But for real though, you get to a point where you want to be able to share your life with someone who is on the same trajectory as you.
I like that.
Like, what do you want out of life? What do you want to do professionally? Where do you want to go spiritually? Where do you want to go physically? Like, what do you guys want? What type of legacy do you want to leave behind, right? Mm-hmm. And I think when you start getting to that point where you want to share all that with somebody, you know, you're like, but you're not compromising. Like, I'm in a position, I'm not compromising what I want out of life for anybody.
You shouldn't.
So it's like, it's a little bit more difficult to find someone because, you know, a lot of times you see people, they're like, you know what, like, I had these goals, but I really want to start having kids. And so they take those steps, and there's nothing wrong with that
at all.
But everybody's different, and I'm Ian. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like, you get to a point where you just want to share that. And so when you get to that point, you know, you kind of, it sucks. It sucks when you can't have what you want right then and there. And so you have to practice what? Patience and perseverance.
Those are gems. Like, there's so many different things that suck about being single, but definitely the social aspect is a big one, and the emotional support. Not regards to like, hey, I need a shoulder to cry on.
You want that late afternoon text. Yeah, like, are you good?
Especially when you're creating and you're doing things and you're working on it. Like, if you're doing a lot of things, you need somebody to just really check up on you, check on your sanity, make sure that you're staying healthy and that you're eating, and make sure you're getting your prayers on time, because your parents love you now, but they're not going to do that, and that's not their job. You know, it kind of is, because they're trying to do that for themselves. But your dad's checking on your mom checking on their dad. Yeah. That's their union. You know what I mean? So it's nice to have that other person that's on your level, because after you get married, that, you know, that's your main priority. Yeah. Another thing that sucks is that when you're single, there's so many different things that you can be hit by and not protected, and that's why I said, you know, in the Quran, that if you get married, 50% of your deed is completed, because marriage protects you from a lot of things, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it protects from being single. It's like, you is the wild, wild west, bro. You ain't protected from nothing.
Because nothing. It's so easy for you to be pulled into
you everywhere, bro.
All that stuff.
At least when you're married, at least, you know, you have a reserves for, you know, X, Y, and Z, unless you're just reckless, and then that means at that point you shouldn't be married. But you have reserves, and you start thinking about things differently. But when you're single, it's just like YOLO, you know. But not in those terms. But I would say that's the hardest thing for me, being single. It's like, there's so many different, you know, temptations and distractions and time wasters.
It's easy to fall into it.
It's so easy. It's so easy. But once you're committed to somebody, and under, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you marry somebody, and the father has given you their daughter, or the mother, or has given you the son, whatever, which way it might be, then it's like, you know, this is my responsibility, and I'm going to do everything that I can. So once you're going to put yourself in a situation, you think like, okay, is this going to compromise myself and my family? Is this going to jeopardize our future, you know? But if you're single, you ain't worried about that.
Bro, I just want to have fun with someone. I want to be with somebody. I want to eat with somebody. Like, bro, at the end of the day, look, and let's be real. You get to, look, and look, we'll be real, bro. It's hard out here when, like, come on now, like, we got look, everybody listening right now knows what it is, and you got needs too, and you want to have them needs fulfilled.
Because you can't forget what we're doing when you don't get married and you hold off. That's an unnatural thing to put your body through, and that can hurt you psychologically, socially, physically, mentally, everything. But look,
mentally hurting.
The question that we got over the weekend, and this is both for the men and ladies out there that are on the fence about getting married, even thinking about it, is like, really sit there and talk with yourself. Why aren't you getting married? What are your fears? Then write it down. And this is not me coming at anybody. Legit, write it down, because sometimes you need to look at it. And after you look at it, you're like, is that really a fear? You know, oh, I'm not getting married, but I have somebody great, but I need to finish school. Well, that person that I'm talking to, will they help me push me? Will they help push me to get through school or law school? Or they won't? And if they won't, they need to ask some other questions like, is this the right person for me? You feel me? So... I like shout out to, you know, the big bro. I ain't gonna drop his name. Shout out to big bro.
That was a great time.
That was phenomenal song.
Yeah, bro. Being single is here's the thing. But what it is, it's a necessary discipline though, because you shouldn't go into any sort of relationship without any discipline. So while you guys are single, go into go into this mode where you're strictly trying to improve on one thing. So for instance, I don't think you should go into like as Muslims, you shouldn't go into a relationship not making at least prayer twice a day.
Yeah, if you don't pray at all, you know what I mean, you're trying to get with somebody that prays.
Yeah. But even if you don't, like you have to start trying to establish yourself in that manner before you get married, because it makes you more disciplined.
I'm laughing because it's almost like anything else. Oh, I'm gonna start working out on the new year, anything like that. You feel me? Like, oh, I'm gonna start praying when I get married. I'm gonna start hitting the gym when I get married.
Yeah, you know bro. Like we have to stop. We have to start taking accountability now and not when. You know, when something is going to happen, when I do this, when this go, like, so get your prayers in, get your body right, start trying to eat healthier, start trying to look better, start trying to get, like, go chase your dreams.
And what do you call that, bro? Self-care. Take care of yourself. Love yourself. You can't love somebody if you don't love yourself. And that's really honest. That's, you know what I mean? Like, you know, we love who we are. We love the podcast. We love the, you know, the men we're becoming. So for us to bring somebody on board and those things weren't allowed, it just was not going to work. You feel me? So nobody can love you more than you can love yourself. That's just impossible.
And you're not responsible for someone else's happiness, and they're not responsible for your happiness. You're there to support them and finding their happiness, but you can't make other people happy.
Because why? You can't control their thoughts and you can't control their attitude, just like you said earlier.
Exactly. So if you're single and you know it,
clap your hands.
Thanks. I gave you the alley-oop for a reason, my man. Good stuff, bro. So yeah, if you're single, you know it, clap your hands. And again, the lesson to take away, bro, hurry up and find a wife. from your mom, hurry up and find a wife. Hurry up and bye. Yeah, that's all I got on the docket, bro.
Stop playing, baby. Those right there are the gems to make this 2020 the best year of your life, inshallah. Don't take it for granted. And guess what? Like, you guys are part of our journey now. You guys are part of the Young Muslim family. Like, we are here for you guys. We're not only somebody that provides a voice, we're also a trusted advisor for you guys. And we're your friends, man.
Yeah,
like,
hit us.
Anybody that DM'd us, we got back to you, unless we legitimately just
sometimes we miss them. We've actually been missing.
Hit us up again. Like, hey, bro, did you see this? You know, come at us.
Yeah, exactly. Don't feel shy. Like, it's flattering when people are like, yo, I can't believe you replied. It's like, nah, bro. Like, I can't believe you hit us up. Exactly. So hit us up anytime, guys. Feel free. Ask us anything, personal, religious, whatever it is. And yeah, we reply with the best of our abilities. Hopefully you guys are having a great Wednesday. I had something on my mind, and it's like it's there, but I can't get it off. I can't get off.
Okay, it's okay. Hopefully it'll come back to you. Well, hopefully come back to you
in the next 30 seconds.
Yes. So thank you for everybody supporting us.
I just want to give a quick shout out to anybody that's listening for that first time, anybody that's listening for the last time. If this is you on your way out, thanks for stopping by. But we hope that you always return. Our doors are always open. Shout out to anybody that watches on YouTube. Shout out to all the people that listen on any of the various listening platforms. And what are those platforms, Muhammad?
Yes, you can find us on all the major pod platforms such as SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Apple iTunes, Google Play, Castbox. And if you want to look at more of these, newer glowing faces,
beautiful smiles. I got a beautiful smile.
You can like and subscribe and comment on the YouTube, the Young and Muslim podcast.
Make sure you guys go and smash that subscribe button. I'm talking like Trump. Hit that like button smash that like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Yes. You can find us on social media as well as, you can find us on all social media platforms at Young, the letter N, Muslim, Young, YUNGN, Muslim. You can also email us if you have anything that's like business related. Email us at Young Muslim USA.
Yes.
Not Muslims, Young Muslim USA at gmail.com.
Yes. And this year, you guys are going to see, you can still see us.
Y'all going to see us a lot.
Our turn on the mic or talking is gonna not minimize. It's gonna go down a little bit.
I'm done talking.
We're gonna have
I'm tired of talking.
A lot of guests. I'm talking a lot.
Man,
of guests.
look, we don't talk no more. We won't talk. We just work. I'm tired of talking. I'm tired of talking. So with that, for the last hour and 15 minutes, you have been listening to the Young and Muslim podcast. I'm As-Salaam,
and this is Muhammad Hassan,
and we leave you with the greens of peace.
As-Salaam
Alaikum.
Goodbye.